So it's 602, take 4, A and B cameras.
Wait! Here we go. And action!
Because of course, he's gonna. We think it's got to, because if we think we're gonna, if he's gonna say, look, I want, yeah, so he's got to.
So I put this crying bit into 6.
Yeah, just put it in wholesale. And we'll go back and through. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. Cover yourself up like that, so I can't possibly hurt you. Do that, so just leave your glasses.
You can't possibly hurt me.
No, do that, do that.
With paper, I'll do it with paper.
Yeah, and just leave your glasses. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. Okay?
This is absolutely terrible.
Don't worry.
Ah!
Why did you let me even do it? Stays mainly on the plain.
Oh dear. So just
Fuck off, that's
hit you anywhere in
stupid.
the
That's stupid, just put it down. You gotta be careful. If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And do you know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. And people say she's just a big pair of tits. Oh God.
When the other guys get here, I'll introduce you. Yeah, the other guys are very relaxed. I'll introduce you. What? Something like that? Not quite. Well, maybe if you just sit down. Maybe if you just sit down.
One of the most amazing things about Bruce Lee was, do you know the trembling hand?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how he did it?
Yeah, I do. Tell me again.
All he did was he concentrated all his mind and power in his body via the mind into one hand until it's trembling with power. And then all he did was he touched you on the chest and he burst every blood vessel in your body at once and you died immediately.
Bloody hell. It's brilliant. Could you do that?
I would never try it on anyone, just in case.
Test it out on stray cats or something.
Probably wondering why I'm so generous with my encouragement. Yeah. Just that trust people and they will be true to you. Treat them greatly and they will show themselves to be great. So, happier now? No looking back?
yeah. Well, I'm still eventually.
Take 5.
And action.
Tim.
Take 6. Take
Absolutely
7.
fine.
Take 8. Take 9. Take 10.
Action.
Oh, David.
Hey.
Take 11.
Trust, encouragement, reward.
I'm gonna.
Take 12 after false start. Take 13. Take 14.
Okay, let's do this.
Take 15. Take 16.
There's no way that can't be funny to me though. The Canterbury Tales of Shorter and it can't not be funny. It's oh God!
Probably wondering why I am so... That was closer!
48. Take
I
17.
literally don't know what to do.
You're probably wondering why I am so... encouraging.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Take 18.
Trust people, and they will be true to you. Treat them much further. Getting a little bit further every time.
Keep
Take
running.
148, take 19. Take 20.
Okay.
Take 21.
Okay.
Take
Just
22.
doing- no,
23.
yeah.
24. 25.
Take 25. Oh, fucking hell. Come on, Martin. Here we go. Fucking take 25. Oh, embarrassing. Right, here we go. Cut.
Do you know what I mean? That day I did.
That's fine, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. It was all wonky, right?
What other stuff is there?
I don't know, Gareth.
Just trying to think.
I'm just going to go for a Waz.
Actually, I ought to go. I'll show you where it is.
Smooth, Gareth. Don't make it too blatant, mate.
When she comes back, yeah, make an excuse and leave. I'm going to move in.
Just going to go for a Waz.
Okay.
Actually, I ought to go as well. I'll show you where it is.
Oh, yeah, smooth, Gareth. That wasn't too obvious at all, mate.
Yeah, it is. Listen, mate, when she comes back, make an excuse and leave. Yeah, I'm going to move in.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh, Martin, your face was fantastic.
Is the old office. So the good thing about having the office here is that I can see everyone, which is that's not because I'm spying on them. It's because they're spying on me. If anything, seeing I'm in there having a laugh with them. But they still know I'm the boss. When I say jump, they jump, which is nice. That's respect. You know. Can I have a coffee, Ems?
Get it yourself.
Yeah. Joking. She knows I wouldn't want one now, so that's why. Have a seat. Anyway. Jennifer not with you?
No, she's on her way.
Monkey!
Patrick, if you can't roll with that kind of punch, you may have...
What?
He looked at it so intently for a few seconds. He really had a go.
I did have a go.
So, now he knows what's going to happen. Should we get him into a better position, though, so we can see his face as well, Steve?
We're very excited because we've just found an invention from the mind of Gareth Keenan. How to get disabled people out of a building in case of a fire. He's drawn one of those chutes that workmen use to dump rubbish in a skip. Note, make sure there is a normal person waiting to stop them flying off the other end.
Normal person.
It's my favourite bit. Wheelchair to be picked up later by fireman in case it's hot.
It's hot. He's thought it through.
Carefully and with great detail.
Done. Good. Okay. Lots of objectives for the year to think about. Main one, of course, work on your communication skills. Okay? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to leave you with this, Keith. In life, never be afraid of moving forward slowly. Only be afraid of standing still. Yeah? Okay. Under strengths, you've put accounts.
Yeah.
Isn't that's your job though, isn't it? That's sort of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go again. Under weaknesses, you've put eczema.
Yeah, on my feet.
Under weaknesses, you've put eczema. I'm on the edge all the time. Do you remember the question?
No.
Okay. We're going to leave that there. And we're back.
Oh, right, you'll swap that one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
It's Friday afternoon and this is what it's come to. Ricky Gervais has stuck some tissue paper into his mouth.
I'm a bit tired. There are jumbo fish fingers. I had 2 jumbo fish fingers, chips, mushy peas, and baked beans, and I had a smoothie.
This wasn't just an amusing sketch that we've come up with, for this. This is actually happening today, and this is my record of it.
Look. And then all back to normal.
Great, shall I put that in episode 3 or 4? He'll sleep now for several days.
Oh dear.
Here he is then.
Oh dear. What I'm doing here, I did this earlier. I've put cappuccino just on this area here, around the script. This is episode 3 that we're doing, and what I've done, I've just poured it there, so it'll go over there on that. That's the mock-up for the script book. You can do this with a latte.
You cock.
I just prefer a cappuccino. Okay, and I'm gonna script there. That's useless now. That's useless. All this is pretty much useless now. Managing a Premiership football club is very much like running a successful paper merchant. A lot of similarities.
Gervais, let me ask you, what are you doing?
I'm doing a thing for BBC One, BBC Sports, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's for the going out on the day of the FA Cup, and it's me as Brent, that's sort of going in the kitchen.
Are you being paid for it?
I am being paid for it, yeah.
How much are you getting paid?
That's gauche. I will tell you this much. It works out at thousands of pounds an hour. That's
right.
what I'm saying.
So you're disrupting our day's writing because we've got a film in like 2 weeks' time.
Sure.
You're disrupting that to make money.
To make money off the back of, The Office, which we should be doing for the second series.
Exactly.
The difficult second album.
Am I going to see any of that money?
You're not going to see any of it.
Right.
At all. This is me cashing in on that character.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You're leaving then, the old team?
Whoa. Moving on. Time for celebration. No time for tears. I don't want you getting upset.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It's I'm worried if Tim gets your job, that'll be unfair.
All right,
because
so-
I've been here a lot longer.
So you're
than
thinking
he
about getting the
has.
job, you're worried about... I'm leaving, you're not upset about that?
Well, I'm upset about that.
Good,
Of course
you
I am.
should be.
I am
Good.
upset, I promise you. But
Yeah,
just
yeah. You're still thinking about getting the job, aren't you?
if I'm being honest, yeah.
Can't believe it.
Well, it's in my head. I can't get it out.
Get it out, please. Because you're of all the people, you're the mercenary. You're the one that I'm disappointed,
If there's
to be honest.
If there's one thing you've taught me in business, it's strike while the iron's hot. So,
Did I teach you that?
Yeah.
What else? What,
Lots of stuff.
lots of stuff. Specifically. You're thinking about getting the job again, aren't you?
I was thinking I'd have to swap stuff around.
Don't want to hear
I'm
it.
left-handed.
Do I?
Just,
Who says famine? That's to be depressing. That's not. You always have the art, you know, that's a good thing about art. Keep the doodling, always do the doodling. So good luck. I've seen your stuff. It's all right, you know. I've got one criticism, it doesn't...
Smack you in the mouth?
Doesn't, yeah. There's no, excuse my French, doesn't grab me by the bollards, Dawn, you know. No message, yeah? And that's... I did this drawing once when I was about 14, and it was of a human ear. Perfect anatomical drawing of a human ear. That was in the middle of the page. And around the page was a dog barking, and a kid screaming, and a gun going off, and a plane taking off, and a TV blaring, right? And the human ear was exploding into 1,000 pieces. Message.
Loud noises hurt your ears.
Damage them. Permanently, sometimes. And that was... medical.
Childish.
Oh, they're a bit tight, aren't they?
I'm in training. I'm in the army.
Oh, you're in the territorials, aren't you?
Territorial army, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
I just making a cup of tea, so...
Good. Fluids. You know, you're supposed to have 1.5 litres of fluids a day for optimum hydration. Excuse me? Try and do about 20 of these a day. And I'm in training. Sit-ups and squat thrusts. The thing about me is I love to look good. You know, I work hard, I spend my money on myself, that's my reward. It means at the end of the day I can look at myself and say, yeah, I've bought and paid for everything that I'm wearing. Not the socks, they were a Christmas present from my cousin, but I sort of paid for them in a way because they only cost £5. I saw them on offer. I bought her 15 quid's worth of Body Shop vouchers. That's a good thing about vouchers, actually. She can see exactly how much I spent on her, and most probably this year she'll buck her ideas up, so...
They're nice.
Don't look if you don't like it.
Do like it. I do like it. Can I have one like that, do you think? Could you arrange for me to...
Mr. Keenan?
Have all you what? Huh? Nose. I don't want to do. What? Are you gonna get changed?
Yeah, I've got my
Well,
suit.
good.
You see, I don't want to act like this, but he drives me to it, right? I know it's my problem, but everything he does winds me up. He is the most annoying man on God's earth. The way he talks, the way when he's reading a newspaper, he laughs out loud like it's a great article and I've missed out on something. The way... OK, do you know his favourite band of all time? OK? Could have had anyone. 50 years of popular music. It's Mike and the Mechanics. That's who it is. Blood pressure's up. That's just thinking about him, OK? So the only way I can get through my day is to fight fire with fire, be even more annoying than he is.
Dawn, I was wondering if I could have a word with you about a delicate matter.
Right.
Right, basically, I've got 2 women on the go at the same time.
Okay.
All right, got off with them up chasers. They both want me.
Sorry, what's your question? Should you be cheating on them both?
No, I don't care about that. Basically, one of them is an absolute cracker. All right, real fox. Not much upstairs in the brains department. And I need intellectual stimulation as well as downstairs.
Right,
So-
made your point.
So, I mean, sometimes I have to tell her not to talk during it. Stupidity puts me off my stroke.
On you go.
The other one is, you know, she's lovely, clever, A-levels, you know, right laugh, bit of a bloater.
Okay, it's nice that you're even thinking of choosing brains over beauty.
Well, no, I'm not. Can I ask Fatty to lose weight? I'm not even sure that's a proper solution because, you know, I don't know. She's got a pretty face, difficult to tell. I mean, I wouldn't just ask her straight out like that, lose the weight, you know. I'd send her an email or something.
Why are you asking me?
Basically, I want a woman's perspective, and you're the only woman I know that I don't fancy. You don't be offended if you came round to my house begging for it. I'd still do you, but...
It's nice to know.
All right. I wanted to apologise, actually, for earlier on. That was... No, it was out of order.
Don't worry.
Insensitive. Friends leaving, all I can worry about is who's getting the job.
Human nature, I'm afraid, and I'm
not
big
fair.
enough not to, you know, not to... Well, it's just, that's fine. That's just two mates sort of... being sorry through physicality is not, you know...
You have a saying who gets the job?
Get off me.
Sorry.
I can't believe it.
Sorry.
Cannot believe
I
it.
got a lot on my mind.
Yeah.
Women troubles.
Well, go home if you're not well, but don't come in.
Not women's trouble, women troubles.
What do you mean?
Right? We've got two birds on the go at the same time and it's getting me down.
Nowhere near.
No, I met them at Chasers. And one of them is an absolute stunner.
Wow. What's your definition of stunner?
Looks like Nelly Furtado, so, you know, except not as annoying.
Sure.
The other one is a bit... Nice titties, though, so...
Gareth?
What?
Sexist.
Very nice knockers.
Nice breasts. No, not yours.
Better than hers.
It's not a competition, Gareth. What?
Looks really good, though.
Yeah?
It's covered in rust when I got it. I did it all myself. Well, my uncle. Uncle helped me a bit, but, you know.
How long have you had it for?
About 18 months now. And do you know how much it's gone up in price since I've done it? About £2 grand.
£2 grand. It's good.
Is she going to sell it?
Might do, might. I get a Porsche.
But, you know, we're in our 30s.
I'm only just 30. What, are you 39?
Both in our 30s, yeah. Both in our 30s.
Yeah.
As I said, you know, and I'm saying that, you know, keep your head down and who knows, in a few years' time... That is ridiculous. And who's to say that you keep your head down, in a few years' time, you won't be... God!
You must know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You must know.
Yeah.
But that's never happened before.
Okay, just once.
That's enough.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask you? Right. And I never will ask you this again.
Right.
What are you going to do this time?
Okay. That. Just that.
That.
Yeah. And who's to say, in a few years' time, if you keep your head down, you won't be in the hot... Keep your head down. Yeah. In a few years, you can be in the hot seat. Keep your head down, and in a few years' time, you're in the hot seat. Like me. And who knows? Keep your head down, you could be in the hot seat like me.
The best when you get it went out into trouble defence, and that's going to pay to regard it as. And they think because it's one of the time that I was attention. So it's now my privilege to present a prize to Ricky Gervais.
Thanks very much. What's he doing? How can I compete with this? You gonna sing?
Huh?
This really was...
Oh, yes, it works. Yeah, it's your turn, yeah.
We're filming this in case they cut this bit out. I'd just like to say, this really is a surprise. Well, the rant was a bit of a giveaway, I'll be honest, but thank you very much.
I worked in an office like December, so that like 13 years ago, and I think, well, it must have changed somewhat. Are you older than you look, or, you know? But I think it's just that it never goes away, that life, does it?
Thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Cheers.
Beautiful. And that's Elvis Costello saying that, okay?
I don't like the show. I find the show, you know, for me, if you're looking for comedy, you're going to be looking at stuff like Copycat,
It's in these. We're just doing this now.
I'm just making this up.
We haven't planned this.
Is this going on the DVD? Because if it is, I want payment.
He's actually like that.
No, seriously, only if it is going to be an extra on the DVD, it's only fair that I should get some sort of money for it.
Well, only if you do one of your amusing impressions, Rob. What would Ronnie Corbett say now if he just found out we'd won an award?
Oh, thanks for... Oh, no, I don't believe it. It's that Ronnie Corbett off the telly boat.
I'll never forget the day that Ricky and I first had the idea for the office.
And that's not Ronnie Corbett.
Ronnie Barker.
Dinner tickets at the ready, please.
Tickets out, folks, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The nominations for situation comedy are Happiness, The Office, Gimme Gimme Gimme, and Space 2.
And the BAFTA goes to... The Office.
It was definitely right to end it when it did. I mean, to come back now would just be mad, wouldn't it?
Everyone must agree that you couldn't carry it on for years and years.
There was nowhere really left for us to take it.
Just not even a debate for me that was the right thing.
There's not even a part of me that thinks, I wonder if we could do another one. We just mustn't. We were nobodies and we hadn't written before, hadn't directed before, hadn't acted before. But the reason they sort of let us sort of get on with it was, I think, because it didn't cost much. David Brent.
One of the important things, one of the cast requirements was that we weren't known, we weren't famous. There's no point in doing, you know, a mock documentary if Julius Waller is playing the receptionist or something.
Dawn Tinsley, receptionist. What? Do this raised, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'd say, at one time or another, every bloke in the office is woken up at the crack of dawn.
What?
The first time The Office went out, it wasn't greatly watched or greatly feted.
After the focus group, they could have pulled it, because we got the joint lowest score ever of any focus group, along with women's bowls. So
it's pretty bad.
It must have been worrying for the BBC.
You're a twat, Gareth. You're a twat and a knob end.
I'm still not listening, so it's not offending me. So.
Right, OK, so you won't hear this. You're a cock, you're a cock, you're a cock. You're a cock.
It was this show that was on BBC Two Monday night that, with no stars in it, that could easily have fallen by the wayside, and it didn't, and it really, it hit.
Gradually you become more known, and that's really weird, and everyone has their own experiences.
I knew the show had sort of taken off when I was walking home one night and I was recognised by, I don't know what the PC word for them is, a tramp, a hobo, a homeless. And he came, it was a proper one, like a young one, right? And he went, oh man, I don't know where the homeless watch it, through Dixon's window or something, right? But he went, oh man, he said, I've just been to HMV, I've just nicked a load of your DVDs.
I get recognised all the time. I just moved into a place which is very close to a sixth form college. And that can be a nightmare at lunchtime or home time. They'll go crazy if a pack of them see Gareth walking past, so I've learnt all the detours.
It is sort of creepy being recognised. It is creepy having your picture taken when you walk along the street. But I think as long as you handle it well, there's nothing to worry about. I think some people caught it, and some people that get in trouble, you know, with the tabloids or whatever, they do sort of caught it. You know, what you don't do is just go out every night and be seen coming out of Stringfellows or China Whites pissed up or coked up, you know, with a slapper. Do you know what I mean? Just...
I've got to do something with my Tuesday night. Because at the moment, you know...
You will never...
Ever seen a blind man cross the road, trying to make the other side?
That's my past there.
Ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself a bride?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Series 2, Day 1. Just to say, I think most of the performers anyway were with us last time, so you kind of know how things work on the floor. Ricky and Stephen co-direct, so take your direction from them.
We've won awards. We know what we're doing. I expect you to be as professional as we are.
Thanks very much.
Don't look Ricky Gervais directly in the eye, please.
We're just coming into work, or
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah. So do I need my jacket?
They are.
I thought that so. I'll be at my desk, and that initial me walking out.
Yeah, but my only thought is, are you happy for him to get all the way into the shot?
Yeah,
or do you want it to be?
I like it for the last thing you see before it is literally me coming in.
Okay, then number 1 to rehearsal then, please. Number 1, thank you.
I can have a door selection.
Exactly.
Okay, let's lock this one through then, please, ladies and gents. Let's have nice and quiet everywhere, thank you. And action. That is brilliant. That is Ewen. Can you say it?
It's great. Never work in a place like this again. This is brilliant. Fact. Yeah? And you'll never have another boss like me, someone who's basically a chilled out entertainer.
I have so many favourite scenes. Don't really know where to start.
My favourite scenes from The Office.
My favourite scenes,
Free love on the free love freeway. The love is free and the freeway's long. I got some hot love on the hot love highway. Ain't going home 'cause my baby's gone. She's gone. Free love on the free love freeway.
My favourite episode is still episode 4, series 1.
I thought episode 4 of series 1 was really good.
It's so boring, but everybody sort of says episode 4 with the whole training and the whole guitar thing.
My favourite scene from that episode is probably the scene where I come in and declare that my fantasy would be 2 lesbians, probably. Sisters. I'm just watching. But it makes me cringe and laugh.
Okay, Tim, do you have one?
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but can I hear more from Gareth, please? I like the comic relief episode. I thought that was funny.
I'll tell you what I love. What? That crazy dance you do. It's just been shown so many times. I'm almost... Please.
Well,
please. No, I'm
well, don't mention it then, or I will...
It is just...
Steve, well, don't mention it then!
Just please never do it. I never want to... Cut.
I honestly don't remember doing it. I look like an orangutan. I didn't realise my legs were so short. I got a pot belly. I got a ridiculous look on my face. And as I walk along the street...
That is actually how you look.
I know, but I didn't know that.
The last episode of Series 2 is incredible.
Dawn, can I just have a word in here?
I love the point when he takes off his microphone and everything goes quiet for that last few minutes.
It seemed to last an age when you were watching it, and it was like, surely we can't do this. People are going to be turning, up their volume and thinking, what the hell's happened to my TV? Everyone since then has said to me, what did you and Martin say to each other in that room? And it's so weird because suddenly when someone asked me, it felt private. That's really ridiculous. Why would it feel private? It really did. And I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to keep that to myself. But that's really stupid. Why would I want to keep it to myself? It's acting.
If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. Do you know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. Yeah. And people say she's just a big pair of tits. We were going to end it after the second series, but we thought, we could have a bit of a cliffhanger and make that complete and then come back and tie up the loose ends of the story.
When we came to write the specials, we took a visit, do you remember that? We took a visit to Slough with our friend, comedian Jimmy Carr. He drove us around Slough because he's from Slough.
We're looking for a place where David Brent would live, and so we think quite a nice new estate, not too expensive but not too terrible. And where are we here, Jimmy? Because this looks perfect.
Sort of Fisher Price Mansions, really.
It's
nice. It's it's kind of a mix of flats and houses, and they're all sort of new builds.
But this is perfect. I think David Brent lives here.
We tried to get everyone together for a read-through. We normally have a little read-through and everyone just reads the scripts and we'd make any changes. But I think it was impossible this time. Everyone was doing films. Mackenzie was off making films. Lucy was in America, I think. Just couldn't get anyone together. I think it was me, Ricky, and Howard Brown from the Halifax ads. I think they were the only 3 people there.
And I only made the last hour because I was opening a leisure centre in Newport Pagnell with Big Keith.
Yeah. That's not his real name.
It is now.
Is it? Changed it. Two series, 2 Christmas specials, never paid attention. I used to say, it's different on every other shoot. If you make a film, anything like that, you can't muck around, it's all film in the camera. Yeah, I'll do what I want.
Did you see him nod at me? When I went...
Rick, can you come through for a second? When we got to the Christmas specials, I thought it'd be different. Nah. Still winding up Martin, still trying to ruin scenes by just telling him stupid stuff.
On the way to work, maybe Ricky had one of his great ideas, as I like to call them, and thought, not only can I make the working day longer, but how can I make it less productive?
Right, please. 121, take it.
Because he knows I will sometimes laugh at what he does. He kind of created a whole new bit of business.
I'm coming up, so you better get a party started. Shamon.
He can't stop a scene. He can't stop a take. He has to go with it. And if he laughs, it's his fault.
So it was not only Chamon, there was also Timber. And so made this kind of sound of Timber.
Hey. Timbo.
Timber.
There was also Tim Canterbury, so we should relate to the Bishop of Canterbury.
Tim Canterbury, Archbishop of Canterbury, Bishop Muzarewa.
Bishop Muzarewa, he said, which is a name I have not heard since about 1980, and it really made me laugh. Bishop Muzarewa, like that.
It's all good stuff. It's all good work.
OK. So that's what I'm going to say.
OK. Is it, though?
There he is, Mr. Canterbury, Archbishop of Canterbury, Bishop Muzarewa. Bashing the bishop.
Yeah. Now, don't be scared what I do now. No sudden movements. I'm trained, and this is actually a sock.
I haven't actually put the sock in yet.
In there is Patrick and Stacey, who are playing Neil and Rachel, and they're in there with the choreographer, Carol, because they've got to learn the moves. We've just left them there, but now we're going to sneak back and see how bad they are. They haven't got long.
Oh, there he is! Ah!
Back off!
Back and lift out. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't rush. And turn in. Dip. Round the shirt. No. Hold in hand.
There you go.
Kick ball change. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn in. And.
That's very good.
That really, really impressed.
Here's Owen.
Come on!
Beckett.
Oh, yeah.
Free kick. England are 1 minute plus stoppage time away from avenging the last 2 World Cup defeats by Argentina.
Fine, still, and action.
Squeal, piggy, squeal.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Just like another one like that. That's it. Hold it there.
Do it like that. Just a naturalistic comedy about everyday life in an office.
You guys are nice clothes.
That's good.
I know exactly why he did that. It's because he wanted to see me, the more professional and experienced of the 2 actors, fumble.
39, take 10.
And then there's pictures. There's always pictures drawn, lots of pictures of unspeakable things.
Get it, free mate.
H5, take 8.
Ricky likes to draw pictures and then present them to you nonchalantly, so that the camera can't see. Just below the camera level, he'll present something horrific.
Not right, is it?
Not right. I've got those pictures. They're safe. They're my Diana letters.
From the start, I know that everybody had quite liked to think of a romantic ending.
I think a lot of people initially thought that David Brent was the focus of the show, but really for us, I think it was always the Tim and Dawn love story, and their sort of storyline was kind of the heart of the show.
I've just heard you were leaving.
Why me?
Say it isn't so.
Because it's round fast.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you going to tell me, or...?
God, yeah. Steve, merchant, had rung me and said, oh, I think we've shot ourselves in the foot a bit by sending Dawn and Lee off to Florida, because now we've got to get her back.
The cost of living out of here is so cheap. You can live on a pittance. In fact, our situation here is almost as good as it was in Slough, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's just suddenly struck us that if a documentary crew is making a documentary, they can invite people back.
What if we were able to arrange for you to go back?
We've got a million reasons we can't go. So.
What do you mean arranging? Well, if we were able to take care of everything, would you want to go back?
Yeah, of course.
Let's talk about it first.
Is that a genuine offer?
Documentaries do that all the time. People think they don't interfere, but of course they do.
Yeah.
You know.
I was always worried about, it's funny, interfering, that watching wildlife documentaries. When I was growing up, I was thinking, they'd go, there's the lion. He's seen the young antelope, right? And I was thinking, if I was watching that, I'd go, run! There's a fucking lion! And they never did. And I hated it when the lion got there and ate this little creature in front of everybody. And I said to my mum, why didn't they stop it? And my mum said, well, you can't interfere with nature. And I thought, oh, I'd like to see the lion turn on David Attenborough. And what do they do then? The crew would go, sorry, Dave, he's eating the old bollocks. So it's okay to be ripped apart of your little Impala, but if you're award-winning David Attenborough, they get the lion off you. One law for the Attenborough, one for the little Impala.
A new Dawn. She looks a bit... a younger model, though.
I'm not a model.
Not as bright as Dawn, I think.
When I first got the scripts for the specials, I was just like, yeah, let's see what happens. I didn't know anything that was going to happen. And I decided to take it to my little local coffee shop and read it, and it was a joy. And then as soon as the bit came where Dawn was getting out the car to come back to Wernham Hog to see everybody for the first time, I just had these tingles up my spine.
Hello. No Lee? No, he's at his mum's.
It was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And that's mad, because actually reading something doesn't normally make me have that reaction. And then I cried.
So, this has been nice.
It has.
Good night, innit? Good seeing you again. Look after yourself.
I will.
Have a good life.
I could keep in touch.
Yeah, well, I might.
Well.
No, I will.
Anyway.
After the second and concluding part of the Christmas special went out.
It's really nice seeing you, Don. Good to see you.
I got about 14 texts on my phone from various people, you know, just saying I'm in tears and I'm crying.
My mum and dad had been out at some friend's house.
Classic in its own way, quite traditional.
Yeah, like sort of Shakespeare or something.
Like Shakespeare? Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
Just like Shakespeare. What Shakespeare are you thinking of? Because I know you're a big fan.
I do like Shakespeare.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
Don't be fooled by this image. I love all the Shakespeare stuff.
Yeah, what sort of, and what do you...
Well, like Romeo and Juliet. That is what I thought Tim and Dawn, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, in what way?
Huh?
You've read Romeo and Juliet, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. And
yeah, what happens in Romeo and Juliet?
Lots of stuff. They meet and they sort of fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's olden days, they all dressed differently. But and then after they meet, it's about 2 hours of all Shakespeare stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand what they're saying because it's all gobbledygook. But it doesn't matter in that because love is blind and deaf, so it doesn't matter what you...
Right.
And then I think she plays hard to get for a little while. She's on the balcony high up and he's going, why are you up there? She's going, well, come up if you want some. And she lets her hair down and he climbs up and...
They're straight to it. Sure.
The fact that for a long time it was bleak in many ways, and then I think a journalist wrote that the weather broke, and I really liked that phrase, that out of everything that happened, it was like, oh my God, suddenly, without being completely over the top, Brent had some hope in his life. He told Finchy to fuck off, which is probably the best moment for me.
That is probably the only scene where I got a little bit of an adrenaline rush, just saying it. Just saying, Chris, why don't you fuck off? The important thing was a change in attitude, that's all. Nothing definitive. He just went to Finch, fuck off. You know, that was great. I really enjoyed doing that.
Well, I am beginning to wonder if your heart is really in this job.
Dawn, you shouldn't be behind there. You don't work here anymore.
Look at the boss. Look at him. Look at his little boss face.
At the end of the Christmas specials, there was no particular closure for Gareth, where there was for Brent and for Dawn and Tim. But I think that's absolutely right. I think about what Gareth could be doing now, and the fact is he'd be at Wernham Hog in much the same position as he always was. And I think, look at it again in, 10 years' time, he'd still be pretty much the same position.
I think that Dawn and Tim will just naturally have moved in together, and that won't be a thing where it's like, let's spend 18 months together and decide about this.
I think he would still be there, but maybe a bit happier.
It'd be nice to go, yeah, no, she's got a man, and now she's like a famous illustrator, but let's face it, it's Slough, and it's the real world, and I think that probably she still will be doing receptionist, but she'll be dead happy.
Wrong.
Well, that's a bit ungracious.
Well, they've got no idea. Why do actors go, oh, I think they'd be doing this? I'll tell you what they'd be doing, whatever I fucking write. Learn the lines.
That's a bit ungracious, though. Everyone's allowed to think where they might be in the future.
Don't try and worm your way in onto writing. You're actors. You're hired hands.
Now, you know what this is about. Obviously, you've seen the picture, of David on the computer.
I saw it.
Yeah, and we've all had a bit of a laugh about it, haven't we?
It's funny.
Yeah. There's a time when the joking has to stop, though. People ask me if I'm worried about escaping the shadow of the office, and is Gareth my Rodney Trotter? I had a dream the other night that I went on to do my own studio-based sitcom, Gareth, Keenan Investigates, where he opens a private investigation agency, a studio-based canned laughter. And this sitcom was so poorly received that it ended up with the original series being stripped of its BAFTAs.
It's hard to escape the part of Dawn. I think you have to be a little bit careful with your choices. I'm not going to play a receptionist for a while.
The happiness about being involved in it, I think, outweighs the worry about escaping the shadow. If people are still shouting Tim at me when I'm 55, I will kind of understand it, but I would sort of as well wonder why I haven't done something else that makes them not shout Tim at me. Do you know what I mean? There are a lot worse things to be shouted at me, do you know what I mean? There are a lot worse. Most of them were shouted at me during the filming of the show.
If I'm always associated with Gareth Keenan, then that's not a bad thing to be associated with.
So what becomes of you, my love, when they have finally stripped you of the handbags and the glad rags that your granddad's had to sweat so you could buy?
I was in New York last week for the Peabody Awards, and at the end of it, there was a girl who'd come up to me, and I had got lots of DVDs to sign and everything, and she said that she'd flown from Canada to New York in order to come and meet someone from the office. And that made me just take a step back and go, oh my God, that is mad.
I don't know that I'll do anything that has that kind of impact in that kind of way again.
Where can you go from there? I don't know.
We sort of predicted that we'd be pleased with it. But no, you could never dream of the success.
There is a kind of fondness knowing that we were all part of the same gang, in a job well done.
Sing a song of sixpence for your sake and take a bottle full of rye. 4 and 20 blackbirds in a cake, bake them all in a pie. They told me you missed school today, so I suggest you just throw away the handbags and the glad rags that your granddad's had to sweat so you could buy. Baby, they told me you missed school today, so I suggest you just throw them all away. The handbags and the glad rags that your granddad's had to sweat so you could buy. Baby, bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye.
I'd be hard pushed to find a job where you laughed as much every day. Do you know what I mean? And where you were genuinely that happy to go to work.
I can't see a situation where we'd all be back together as one team working together, and yeah, that's sad. That's sort of the end of an era.
And I'm just sorry that we won't work together again. It's pretty sad.
Get over it.
Harsh.
We're not going to work together again. Next.
It's tough. Where you going?
Huh?
Is that it then, is it?
Yeah, got a sauna. It's the last shoot of The Office 2002. It's Thursday night and we're about to wait for it to get dark. It's about 10 o'clock. It's the scene at the end of episode 3 where Finchy has sex with Rachel in the car park. We're just setting the shot. Now, actors are way too important to sort of like set the shot and practice it. So we got a couple of crew. That's not actually the two that we're meant to be doing the shot. I don't know who they are. Our lot's over there. So, anyway, cut.
Still rolling, silence and still, please.
Oh, my knees hurt.
Nearly done.
Good.
That's great.
That was the very last thing we will ever do on The Office. Series 2, 2002. That's it. That's the last thing. Steve Roberts.
Steve Roberts.
Could you do the honour? Come here. Come here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That is a wrap for the series. Thank you very much. Well done.
Andy, get that over here, that camera, and just look at his little face.
Wave with me. All right? Thanks for letting me work on it. Thanks for letting me do it. Have you done it?
Are you glad you're feeling that competition now?
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Alrighty, Keenan here on speakerphone.
You on speakerphone?
Yep.
Tits.
What we're doing now, the pressure's on. This is the last day of the offline, so we've got to get the whole programme to time, exactly as we want it before it goes off to the grade. We've got about 6 hours left. Because when it comes back, I'd like it a little bit longer. Can we fade the audio, so when it's on here, can you leave it longer on here?
What's that? Well, it's our final day of editing. Obviously, the pressure's on. We've got to get all the last 2 episodes done by 6 o'clock. That's about an hour's time. Quite a lot of work to do. And Ricky Gervais, you can probably hear Ricky is pretty busy at work as we speak, finishing the final edit. Basically, I'll explain to you, he's dressing up our editor at the moment. How's it going, Rick? I know the pressure's on there.
I'm not going to be having this ripped. I just thought. I like the hat and I like this because that is brilliant.
So what becomes of you, my love, when they have finally stripped you of the handbags and the glad rags that your granddad had to sweat so you could buy?
That honestly looks brilliant.
Yeah?
It really does, honestly. It doesn't look stupid. I'm just going to put him out here so we can concentrate. Well, let me know. Yeah.
Hang on.
We've got to concentrate.
Well, we've got to do some work, Nigel.
Okay, you can do it.
This show's not going to cut itself.
They told me you missed school today, so I suggest you just throw them all away. The handbags and the glad rags that your poor old granddad had to sweat to buy.
Jonathan Ross, and we are coming to you live from in front of a star-studded audience here at BBC Television Centre in London. Our next award is for the best comedy moment of 2002. So, can you tell us who's won?
And the winner is The Office.
Now, unfortunately, Ricky could not be here this evening, but he's recorded a special message with his co-writer and co-director, Mr. Stephen Merchant. Here it is.
So, before we start, why is it called How I Made the Office, just by Ricky Gervais? Why is
It
it?
is How I Made the Office.
Yeah, but why isn't it
It's
How
DVD.
We Made the Office by Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant? Too long? Just your name shorter? Thanks. The thing about Ricky is that he's the most irritating man I've ever met.
I can't deny that he's got a capacity to be irritating.
Why is he irritating? So many reasons.
You know, from things like going like that for literally no apparent reason.
He's like a child who's drunk too much orange squash with tartrazine in and has now gone a bit wild, and you need to calm him down.
He does willfully try to destroy a scene.
He's going to keep doing something until he gets a reaction.
He loves it, don't you?
It's a joy.
Yeah, he loves it. I do like,
Yeah.
He loves all that. I do, don't you?
Exactly.
I go, really
don't do
ready.
it now. Seriously, don't fucking do it now. Because I'll go mental.
And he's touchy.
Slate 22, take one.
Smiles slightly. And if there's something funny, she'll laugh. It's just...
I remember I had to have a single shot on me, just looking really a bit put out maybe and stern or whatever. And Ricky was just...
I'm gonna be sick.
Jeez.
Do you mind? Give me that bin, seriously.
That smells like a pocket.
Dawn, give me that fucking bin.
That smells like a
That's
pocket
over
of
there.
egg.
Put it over there as well. And then that should keep it going now until we, you know.
Do they stop belching? Stop passing?
My friend Robin says I've got two moods. One is, and the other is, I can't believe it. I'm going to have someone fired. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's total hypocrite. It's like, you know, anyone else makes a single bit of noise, boom guy drops the boom in shot, I can't believe this. You know. But him kind of clicking, dancing, making noises, that's fine. There was one bit where the people who, because it was like a real office that we were, an empty real office, there was a real office next door with people working, and they just came to complain about the noise.
That is true.
And it was like, it was supposed to be a set that was desperately quiet with just a little scene being played out.
Yeah.
And he's there singing, screaming, shouting. Like, and it's because like he's the star, he's allowed to do that because it's
And
like,
so
I'm going to be stressed if I don't do it.
And that was terrible. I fired the location manager and I said, why put us next to a grumpy office?
Exactly.
No, I've got to jump around like this. And I said, I've got to squeak and jump around and let off fireworks.
He tends to touch sometimes. Be a little bit upsetting. Puts his arm around you, fiddles with your hair, you know, and he says, "Hey, come on, you know, just because you like a bit of a kiss and a cuddle with another man doesn't make you gay," which, you know, I've thought a lot about, but I think it does. I think it does.
But the thing about TV is that they literally, time is money. And so that, you know, you've got to get everything right first time. You've got to be on the spot because, you know, the clock's ticking.
That's why I'm... Go on, what are you
I was
going
just going to say, that's why I imagine you deliberately try to jeopardise every single take we do.
I was going to say that.
He'll do things like just add lines or stupid names to try and surprise the other actors.
Action!
You don't often see a pure silk for $9.99, so...
Action!
$9.99 pure silk, so... I had to snap it up. OK.
Action!
And Wally Burton, 2 for 10 quid, so I went, yes, please.
Action!
And Nobby Burton came round, 2 for 10, I went, yes, please. Got 4.
Action!
And, you know, deaf Nobby Burton, who comes round with a case, 2 for...
Why are you making it harder for yourself?
OK, I'm sorry. OK, I'll just say Nobby Burton, who comes round with a case. 2 for 10, I got 4. A lot of the stuff that ends up in the office comes from me mucking around and annoying people, so that's what I say in my defence. Yeah. It's my art.
But to be fair, I remember that when we were making the pilot, we did a whole sequence where we did all the talking heads that Ricky does, and then we just left the camera rolling, and I would sort of interview him as though I were a real interviewer, and he would just kind of talk as though we were Brent. And I think a couple of ideas and things come out of that. But most of the time he would say something and I'd utterly ruin it just by cracking up.
One of the, I suppose, occupational hazards of being a laugh
is that they think they can have a laugh, and they can, but not at the expense of me and the company as a whole, without humour involvement. In that sense, I mean, they can't...
I'm sorry.
Without the humour involvement. By that I mean, I don't mind a laugh during work or instead of work. What I don't enjoy is what I call the anti-laugh, where it's at...
I'm sorry. Can I just leave and you just carry on talking? That won't help.
It's what is called by me the anti-laugh, and that is anything goes, thanks very much, have a laugh, find the funny side of life in everything, okay? Have a laugh at yourself, please. Have a laugh at me with my blessing, because I will with you, but don't make the mistake of the laughter of hate. I first met Stephen. I was working at XFM, which is a local London radio station, and I was the head of speech. Well
if you've
done.
heard him speak, that's ludicrous.
I know.
And the head of speech was like, he had to cover, like, he had to be involved with all the speech output, the news, the competitions. Do you know what I mean? He had to have a perfect grasp of communication.
So I'd blagged the interview and got the job. Well paid, wasn't it?
Very good.
Good. But then, when it launched, I had to do stuff, which was...
That was the problem, wasn't it?
Annoying, and I knew nothing about it. So I went to him and said, look, the workload is mental. I need an assistant. And they went, sure, this guy knows what he's doing. And I met Steve, and I basically said, listen, I don't know what I'm doing here. I've got to do loads of stuff, filing and stuff. If you do all that, I'll let you get away with murder. And which left me free to do more important stuff.
Like rolling around on your chair in the office?
That was one of them.
Yeah.
Boating on Regent's
Yeah.
Park.
Golfing.
Yeah.
But when I joined the BBC and I was sort of training there, and I had to do a training day, like where they gave you a camera crew, and you had to make a short film. And most people were doing like documentaries and things, but Rick had this kind of character that he used to sort of muck around and improvise in the office when we worked with him.
It was just a thing called CD Boss, which was more an observation on sort of like a lecherous boss who was sort of smarmy, and I mean, it was David Brent. I don't give crappy jobs. If I give a good job to a good guy, and then after a period of time he comes to me and says, thank you for that job, David, I've done that, I want to move on, I want to better myself, then I can make that dream come true too, aka for you.
We shot it with the office that Ricky used to work at in the University of London, and just used some actor mates of mine.
Air conditioning, computerised, totally.
So I think it's hermetically sealed, isn't it?
It's star text, I think, but I mean it knows what temperature it is, what time of day it is, whether you're working or not. No, we couldn't do it. It's illegal. The reason we shot it like a documentary was time,
Just because
really,
it was
wasn't
quicker. It was just a quicker way. We only had the camera crew for a day, so that was the quickest way to shoot everything. And then if time's against you and you just point the camera at the character and let them talk, you don't have to change the camera angle or anything. It's really simple, but you can get a sense of the character. So.
And I really love the talking heads in the show because we shot like a documentary, we couldn't do things people wouldn't do in front of the camera. They can't shut the door and, you know, take a line of coke, or they can't blurt out things they're thinking because it just isn't true. But ironically, when they're by themselves and they're just being filmed, they're a little bit more honest. People do let their guard down because it's flattering. When a camera's, you know, pointed at a normal person, they think, this is my chance, this is my platform. I can tell the world all my great philosophies on life. And of course they open their mouth and they blow it and they can't take it back. Like now.
Exactly.
People, they could come to me, they could go, David, sorry to bother you. You've been in the business 15 years. Can you give me a couple of words of advice? But they don't. That's the tragedy. There was points in it that were almost toward the surreal that we decided that we wouldn't have because we really just wanted a normal person. And there's just little bits and pieces that wouldn't sit well.
I think there's a bit where you put some lipstick on or something.
Start by employing more people. Now, what is your category of?
Right, so if you select one, select a spell block, and you can take that.
That was, I think, the first time Ricky had done any acting kind of properly, and it was, you know, that once that got made and that little demo tape existed, it got passed around, and that's how he got onto 11 o'clock show and things like that. And yeah, he was an absolute nightmare. And we only had, the clock was ticking, and he was like, well, if we commit, that'll be fine, that take will be fine, let's go down the pub now. I've got the thing which I filmed of us just rehearsing, just an empty pint glass. You can just see he's just thinking, bar will be closed soon.
Yeah, I'm acting faster because I've got...
Yeah, absolute nightmare to work with. And now you're marginally better.
Isn't that weird?
Strange, it's good, you've learnt so much.
Yeah. People say, oh, well, you know, will fame change you? You know,
you were always obnoxious.
Yeah. Hour and a half. We went at 1:45. After the little pre-pilot that we shot ourselves, our little demo pilot, the BBC commissioned a script and then a real pilot, if you like.
The script seemed quite good, and I went along and originally read for Gareth, and then I think I was sort of on my way out the door, pretty much, actually, and then I read for Tim.
I was always imagining him a lot more like Norm from Cheers. I think he was going to be quite fat, wasn't he? And
yeah,
you know, that kind of wisecracking in that way.
I had 3 callbacks, I think, for the part, but I mean, they don't let you know that it's a close thing, and you might not get it.
Some of the people we ended up with were not as we'd imagined them originally. I mean, I remember when Mackenzie came in as Gareth, it took some persuasion. I wasn't convinced at all.
I didn't realise Stephen didn't think I was the right man for the job.
I'd imagined him as much bigger and much more kind of militaristic.
Obviously the skinny, weedy guy won through in the end. But I can play Butch.
But what was exciting about Mackenzie is that because he's got this, he looks very fragile and vulnerable, not like that we first imagined. We found that we could give him more and more ridiculous and horrendous lines, and you still didn't mind because of his, you know, little bird-type face. I don't mean like a woman. I mean like a little baby bird, like a little fledgling pigeon who just hatched too early. And there's a sort of sweetness and vulnerability about Mackenzie. Vulnerability?
Ah, yes. Language is your tool.
Ah, we can cut.
We can put a subtitle up.
Vulnerability about Mackenzie, and that was nice. I don't give shitty jobs. When a good man comes to me and says, "Thank you, David, for the opportunity," and the continued...
The official BBC pilot that we made is pretty much the same in terms of its plot as episode 1 of the real series. But there was some strands we cut out. There was a whole sequence where Dawn tells Tim a joke, which is that one, did you see that film last night, Gaylord Say No?
No.
That means you're a Gaylord. You see? It's a classic school playground joke.
Oh, yeah.
You just got it?
Yeah.
And so she tells him that, and then they sort of play that joke on the cleaning lady.
Say it back to me.
Did you see a film, Gaze?
No. Did you see that film last night? Gaylord Say No. You get it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Gareth, did you see a film last night, Gaylords?
What? She was wondering if you saw that film last night, Gaylord Say No?
No.
That means you're a Gaylord.
I'm not a Gaylord. What's a Gaylord?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then there was a whole different sequence about how Gareth finds out that there's going to be redundancies at Wernham Hogg, and he's really upset that he's, the last person to discover this information.
The old shares. Ooh, oil. Somebody got their fingers burned.
David, hi. Listen,
Mr.
I need
Keenan.
I need to know if there's anything that you've heard, any rumours that you've heard from the head office.
Anything that...
You got stuff on your face.
Oh, that's probably ink on your paper.
Just making it worse.
Have you got a tissue? Or, sorry.
No.
Have you got a tissue?
Right.
What's that?
That's not mine. It's the first one I picked up.
Your mum's?
Yeah, mine are twice as big as that.
And without a lace?
Yeah.
Presumably.
Well,
well, no. I don't.
Will you do it then?
I haven't got a mirror, have I? Dawn! Don't want that.
They're all talking out there. There's rumours going...
Slow down. Who's talking?
Everyone's
Have you got
talking
a tissue
because...
or a hanky or something like that?
No, whose is that?
That's his.
It's my mum's. Mine are twice as big.
Without the lace.
I'm team leader. I should know. I'd be the first one after you to know.
Yeah, right. You're the first one after me to know. Okay. What's that? Don't put your... I meant to spit on it, so it's my spit on my face. I don't want it now. Don't bother.
I feel I've got a responsibility to the staff
Gareth,
to know what's going on.
Say what you mean.
Jennifer came in here this morning. Right. As soon as she's gone, now there's all rumours going... Dawn, actually, this is a private meeting. Could you...
What's all this about us losing our jobs?
Joan, this is a private meeting.
sit down.
Yes, Mr. Brent.
Shut the door.
I don't think that I'm being so... Frankly, I'm a little bit insulted that, if there's
Why are
stuff
you losing jobs?
Can you give us 2 minutes?
Sit down. Welcome.
I thought it was supposed to be a private meeting. It's just... Right. Okay. As team leader... Oh, this is pathetic. Right, I called this meeting. Thanks for coming. I called this meeting because...
Gareth, sit down. Right. All it is the powers that be have deemed
right, so now you're telling them, are you?
Well, yeah, you don't know what's going on.
Well, it's my meeting, I called it.
To find out what's going on, so I'm going to tell you.
In front of everyone else. Go on.
When we look back at the pilot, it just felt a bit too much like it had become a sitcom with a beginning, middle and an end.
Yeah.
If you watch a real documentary, they've pieced together that from stuff that happened in real life. So we wanted to get that sense like we'd cobbled it together. And
I was genuinely panicked, wasn't I? Because I thought it was the sitcom that we always said we wouldn't make. And we just really G'd ourselves up and said, right, we're going back to basics. We really wanted to do something. We were sort of thought we were making something new. Well, we hoped we were. And we didn't want anything that...
But I remember you described it as better than Dickens. Didn't you?
Yeah. It is. And that's Shakespeare.
Gaylord.
What's up? Hey, what's up? I love that.
Why I think some of it looked quite real is because, obviously, I'm not an actor, and I don't care about hitting my marks or where I should stand. And Steve would go, well, can you at least just, speak up a little bit?
Face the right direction.
Not really. Not really, no. I'll just do it this way.
Well, you do think that everything you've guessed is probably the truth.
Yeah.
So if you guess it's something, you assume that's actually how it's done.
I'm not a trained actor.
This is amazing to find out. He's not.
No, or a trained director.
He's got nothing.
No.
His CV is empty.
Yeah. I haven't got a CV.
No.
Never needed one.
Yeah.
He'll be on a single of him or a talking head, and he'll be more worried about the lighting. Learn the lines. You wrote them. Okay?
I think the difference between our show maybe and other sitcoms which are set in office is that there always seem to be too full of incident. It's like there's people kind of doing one-liners and being zany and falling over and doing crazy stuff and getting into amusing scrapes, which is not what the experience of being in an office is like at all. It is just about kind of monotony, often if it's a job you don't enjoy, which is occasionally interspersed with, someone making a joke or something kind of. So we wanted lots of sort of sequences between the jokes, if you like, of just people working. And there's something lovely and kind of empty and boring and static about just someone sat typing at a computer.
I mean, I know sort of drama or whatever is life with the boring bits taken out, but we left some of them in because they can be the funniest bits. And so, we didn't top and tail scenes so cleanly. We liked the dwelling on a bad joke or, a nothingness.
Yeah, what's funny about a bad joke is the agony of that silence after a joke has gone flat.
Have you heard Michael Jackson's new song he's doing? No. He's teamed up with West Ham football team, apparently. Yeah. Doing On Forever Blowing Bubbles. She's not at football. Trying to later. The frustrating thing as a writer is that you had to get around this camera being there. Because we couldn't have exposition, we couldn't have, you know, people doing things they wouldn't do in front of a camera. It was a bind. But what we could use is the advantage of that is that it would up the agony. And that's where that came from. That was the joke there.
What you find as well, especially with the romantic plot, is it's like because the camera's filming them, they can't show their emotions for each other. They can't show their true feelings, you know, Tim and Dawn. So it means that you've got, it's almost like you've sort of some kind of Victorian seething kind of melodrama where, you know, suddenly just him touching her or her touching him, that's as much as a kiss. It means as much, you know. And
the kiss becomes a shag.
So it becomes a kind of, you get that nice kind of electricity between them.
Sorry.
Ooh, can I have this when you've finished?
Yeah, you can have it.
When will you be finished today?
I don't know
Probably.
when I'll be finished.
Oh, bloody
Maybe
hell.
we could share it.
I know that Ricky and Steve worked hard to get that right because it could have fallen on its face. It could have been embarrassing or just simply not worked.
The first time I really got Tim and Dawn was after I saw the last episode on the reruns the other week, and for the first time I thought, I know why people have got really upset about that. And my mum rang me about 2 minutes later in tears.
It's not just a farcical comedy. You know, there's poignant bits in it that people do care about. That when Gareth thinks that David Brent might be leaving, and he goes in and breaks down. Oh, that's it then, is it? The old team on the scrap heap. Poor old Gareth. You know, I am fond of Gareth. He's a wally. But yeah, I'm fond of him. Oh, this is stupid.
Yeah, it is. This is stupid. It's so. Sorry, mate. What do you want? Laurel and Hardy was a constant reference point, which sort of came out in a little bit in Tim's looks to camera. I mean, not that they're completely Ollie-esque. I mean, I never went, you know. I was working last night actually on something, and I actually couldn't stop doing it. I think it might ruin my career. So by the time you people are seeing this, you really won't be seeing me again, because everything I do now, I can't stop going like that. Which is a problem for any actor.
The other people in the office at the desk, which weren't particularly main characters, but rather than getting extras or supporting artists, they were all proper actors.
Hello, you're through to Keith.
Ewen, who plays Big Keith, was just a real treat because he just came in and he was just sort of sat there typing away. Then you give him a few lines and you realise he's got this whole kind of character that he's created. It's just this kind of deadpan, you know. I mean, I don't know if that's what he's really like.
Well,
I
we
suppose it is
still
a bit
don't
like-
know whether that was his best naturalistic acting, and we just found it funny and he thought, well, I'll keep quiet, or whether he knew exactly what he was doing. I'd like to think he knew how funny it was, because it's great.
Well, he's watching this. He won't mind me saying he's an oddity, man. He's a freak. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like if it was 100 years ago, he wouldn't be in telly, let's say. I mean, not only because it hadn't been invented yet.
One of my favourite scenes is where, in episode 5, where he's just talking to Tim and they're in the smokers room and it's a really tight shot and he eats a Scotch egg at the end. And it's a joyful scene and it's, you know, his performance of that is impeccable.
What did you watch on telly last night?
I didn't watch telly, I watched a video.
I watched that Peak Practice.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Bloody repeat.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Not for me, I hadn't seen it. Boring, isn't it? Just staying in watching Peak Practice with your life.
Yeah.
Not for me. I like it.
Yeah, I just stayed in, had a big wank. Yeah, that scene was, it was very hard.
Because Ewan's so consistent, the arm kept coming up on exactly the same point every time to eat the Scotch egg. And Martin could see that in his peripheral vision. And once you think of something's funny, that's it, you're done.
After about 5 takes, and I looked through and like Ash and Anna and, you know, and Ricky and Steve are all sort of like going, come on. And I thought, God, I really might not be able to do it. You know, I thought I might not actually manage this.
Boring, isn't it? Just staying in watching Peak Practice with your life.
Yeah.
Not for me, I like it.
I just stayed.
That was so good. That was so good.
Boring, isn't it? Just staying in watching Peak Practice with your life.
Yeah, it is.
Not for me, I like it.
Yeah, I just stayed in, had a big...
Not for me, I like it.
Well, just...
Boring, isn't it? Just
Staying in, watching peak practice with your life.
Yeah.
Not for me, I like it.
Well, I just stayed in, had a big wank.
Boring, isn't it? Just sitting in, watching peak practice with your life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not for me, I like it.
Ricky likes to remind me that it did take 13 takes. I would like to remind him that just kind of maybe walking down a corridor for him took about 40. You know what I mean?
I knew he was going to go because he would suddenly go... And his face would just do that.
What's the difference?
A dwarf is someone who has disproportionately short arms and legs.
I'm so sorry. We've been saying that word now for an hour, and suddenly it was funny. I couldn't take it. Suddenly, the word midget was remarkably funny.
Right, here we go.
Action.
What's the difference?
A dwarf is someone who has disproportionately short arms and legs.
I don't know what I'm going to do. What's the difference?
A dwarf is someone who has disproportionately short arms and legs.
God almighty, I'm so sorry.
And action.
Oh God, okay, 1 minute. Sorry, Joe.
Okay. And action.
What's the difference?
A dwarf is someone who has disproportionately short arms and legs.
I've no idea how I'm going to do this. Wait a minute.
Action.
What's the difference?
A dwarf is someone
Fucking
who has...
hell! You actually feel that you're never going to be able to do it. You think, well, if I never do this, what happens? Do we run over by a year? What would happen if I could never get this scene? And it panics you.
And yeah, and TV's Ricky Gervais is... Well, he's not autistic, but he is like a sort of... Well, not even like a girl, that's an insult as well, but... what's the PC way for giggling buffoon?
Scene where Dawn is eating her lunch. She's just eating a sandwich and she's really minding her own business and she's on her own. And David comes up.
I had a bit of a scare earlier.
Did you?
Yeah. I thought I found a lump. I examine myself regularly. I get checked out. It's fine, but terrifying. Testicular cancer. Cancer of them old testicles. What's that?
Oh, God, that was a great one.
We'll do it again.
Please.
We'll do it again.
Damn.
What made you go? Still
No,
running.
nobody whatsoever moved.
No, it was my fault.
During this.
No, it wasn't. It was no one's fault. It was mine.
And he can barely get through a take without being so impressed by his writing genius that he has to ruin it with laughing, you know. Doesn't even have the sort of humility not to laugh and say, oh, what I wrote isn't actually maybe that funny. It's like, no, I am a genius. I'll ruin the take. Oh, again, yeah, you know.
No, he's not based on any one person. He's sort of a Frankenstein of all those types, those bosses from How. I mean, the whole programme is basically nailing types and observations. It's very much a, ticking off office observations. And David is one of those. I mean, the most important one of them, sure, but just one of the main one. People have said to us, like with David Brent being bad at his job and rubbish and he should be fired. If you just walk around the BBC for a day, you see people who are, people who are rubbish keep their jobs.
In very important jobs as well.
I mean,
we're talking about executives.
The only analogy I can use evolutionary-wise is marsupials survived in Australia because there were no predators. And that's very much like the BBC, because no one from the outside is coming and going, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing? How long have you been here?
If they took a John Harvey Jones in there, it'd be decimated.
There'd just be me and Steve.
Yeah, it'd just be the two of us doing a lot, plate spinning.
Why isn't Variety still as big?
I bloody love Variety, Rick, and I wish it would come back. You don't see enough of the song and dance men. That's what we want back.
Do people go into plate spinning, or is it like handed down? Like,
No.
son, I've broken a couple, but these are yours. I'm going to be a doctor. And you go, all right.
It's not as popular as it was, plate spinning.
I don't think they are that unsympathetic. I think, Brent, you should sort of feel sorry for it.
Gareth he's a right wally, but, you know, he's all right, really. He's harmless.
The only person that you could, in real life, not like is probably Finch, Chris Finch, because he's a bully. You know, and he's one of those people that when he walks into the room, he does say funny things, and you laugh, and then you go, it's my turn soon.
And someone asked me, like, oh, Brent's such a bastard, but he's not. He's a tit. He's a twerp. He's a knob.
He's all those things. He's a twerty tit knob.
Exactly.
A twerty tit knob.
Yeah.
I like bosses like that because you get away with murder. All you have to do is laugh at their jokes, invite them to 1 in 5 drinks, and that's it. He's your mate. And it's like teachers at school. You soon learn that you can go, Mr. Morris, what bike have you got? And they go, well, it's a Harley Davidson. And yeah, you got through the lesson. That's it. He talks about his bike. And it's just getting on the good side of these people because they're not nasty, they're not malicious. And very often, they want a mate. I mean, I don't think they might want to jump on you and impregnate you.
Yeah. Is that some story you've got to tell?
Wow. I was always told when I doing English O level, write about what you know, and it's so true. It's so much easier.
Yeah, that's why you want our next project to be you as a man locked in a futuristic prison.
Well, yeah, I've been. It's called brain jail, and it's only your own conscience that keeps you there. Because I imagine that's what it'd be like. I'm working out as well. I'm going to be I don't want to use the same body I used for Brent.
Right.
Because.
Well, it's very flabby and doesn't look so good in a vest.
He is, isn't he? He's a flabby bloke, Brent. But this one won't be.
Well, not just flabby, fat. I mean, downright fat.
Yeah.
A bit of a bloater.
Whereas Scott Carson, crime he didn't commit. He was probably saving some people from a burning building. But he's just probably broken a rubbish law in the future. You can't have your own thoughts. Downloaded.
Brain jail.
Yeah, I think I downloaded my own feelings from my computer.
Yeah. Well, I just wish you could get back your dead wife's memories and bring her back to life cryogenically.
Yeah, but the evil bloke in charge of it wasn't even voted in. He killed people to get there.
Oh, not that dictator.
Yeah, he's got it on a floppy disk.
Zordon.
Except it's not even a floppy disk by then. It's just a floppy dot. It's like a little dot, isn't it? That floats.
It's as good as written.
It's as good as Dickens.
Loser.
There wasn't much improvised in the making of it. Most of it is there on the script for us to, see.
As a tribute to the writing, it's writing that sounds improvised,
The script comes out of improvisation anyway, so as we're writing, we're sort of doing it, so we're very careful about the dialogue and the realism of that. So it seems more improvised than it is.
But again, within that, there would be times that Ricky or Steve would come up to a couple of us or, various one of us and say, we need a scene quickly about this or something, and we need one to get us, a bridge to get us from that scene into this one.
One of the times we had to do flirting, improvising, I thought, because I love my hair being played with, anyone will do really, and so I thought, I'll incorporate that, because he can't say no, we're on camera, and so basically he just had to play with my hair, which was really nice. Oh, bless.
So I touched your head.
Right. Carry on to my hair. And I'm going to do that a lot more in the next series. I might have a massage or something. I'd never thought of that. Great.
Everyone knew the characters so well that it was just easy to come up with those little bits of ad-lib, like at the end of episode 2 where David's on the phone, apparently he's speaking to Chris Finch and firing him, and Jennifer presses the button and it's in fact the speaking clock.
Pathetic.
Is it?
At the third stroke, the time
I checked my watch. I just thought that's the Gareth thing to do. Just checks his watch just to see that it is the right time.
Just filming what's funny, just filming the comedy is all that you need to do. You don't need to get clever and tricksy and stuff. Just filming Ricky Gervais's fat, funny face is bloody hilarious.
All right, 4 eyes.
Well, don't have a go at me.
Yeah, you goggle-eyed freak, so don't
That's not fair because I'm not even on. Not
and
even
also,
been on something
when you
before.
say fat face, this is a condition, so...
What condition?
Greed.
Right.
So before you insult someone, find out what it may be medically cheese.
Right.
Suffering from cheddar.
Yes, okay.
Oh, no.
Well, yesterday, in fact, on the tube, somebody said to me, "All right, Gareth, where's Ricky?" I'm like, well, what's that about? Why do I get called Gareth and he gets called by his real name? And I don't know where he is, but he's certainly not going to be on the tube because he doesn't travel on the tube anymore.
When I first started filming the pilot episode, Ash, our producer, had said to me, because he knew that my dad was Jasper Carrot, and he said to me, "Oh, when did you change your name to Davis?" And I said, "At what point did you think Davis was the made-up name?"
People have been asking for autographs, and they want me to write something funny, so I found myself writing "I could catch a monkey." Love, Mackenzie. Great. That'll be worth something.
A lot of people who sort of look at these extra sort of footage in DVDs are nerds.
Yeah, geeks, sure.
Geeks and
losers.
Yeah, probably watching this on a sunny day.
Yeah. Curtains drawn.
Yeah, spotty fat git. So what we do for them is give them some sort of real behind-the-scenes nuggets, interesting stuff. Not to us.
No.
But to them.
To them, interesting.
Yeah.
What's interesting?
Your dad?
Yeah, the guy that comes through the door in episode 6 and kind of just stares and looks at the camera, and then who also appears later in the party. He's my father, my real father. His name is Ron, and my mum's name is Elaine, and that's the name of Donna's parents.
Daughter of my best friends, Ron and Elaine.
Oh, the guy that Ricky's interviewing at the beginning of episode 1 is the guy he's firing at the end in episode 6.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Oh, you know, as you picked up on it, Gareth. Well, that's not his real name. His real name is Mackenzie Crook, and he's just an actor.
Yeah.
So, and you know that at the beginning, where I meet Ricky, and I pretend I haven't met him before. I have. I cast him as Oliver Chris. He's an actor. He's been in other stuff.
Yeah.
Sort of an illusion, isn't it?
See, yeah. And you know, because you're getting a bit confused because the office obviously is not a real office.
What's happened to it? Bankrupt. See, no one wants paper anymore. Go on.
It's just it's fake, isn't it? It's just a make believe. It's like a set.
What do they sell?
Who?
Not paper.
Who?
All the people that work there.
They don't work there. They're actors.
Oh, temping. Acting's a hard business. 90% of the time they'll probably be working in offices.
Can we switch it off because I need
a Scotch egg.
Need a Scotch egg and needs to lie down. Can we get Ricky Gervais's hammock? Just bring that in.